Hey everybody, weird intro I know, but I got some answers for something I've been wondering for a very long time. And that is that ever since I was much younger, basically on the onset of puberty, I've had periods where my legs hurt quite significantly. I have, since long before that, always got tired way more quicker than other kids. But when I hit puberty and I hit a growth spurt, it happened that sometimes when I was walking, then part of my joints or like anywhere in the leg, you start hurt like hell, like it really hurt, and I couldn't put any pressure on it at all. And that happened. Uh, Not very common, but it did happen more frequently the older I got. So throughout puberty, I end up getting tired way more quicker. I end up needing to rest way more quicker, and I also get severe pain, leg pains. It makes it well impossible or really difficult to walk and not walk like um, very well when I was walking. But yeah, other issues that I've been having as I was a kid was I always had a problem with eating food. Um, I basically feel nauseous usually when I eat food, and usually when I eat food, I get full insanely quickly. So I never get really satisfied from eating food. Um, Given all this, it got way worse when I was became an adult. Like walking was much more harder. Even when I was a teenager, sometimes I couldn't put any pressure on the leg, so I had to like wobble around on one leg. And whenever I put pressure on the leg, it would just hurt so much, and I just couldn't do it for more than like a split second. Um, but this wasn't very common, but it became more common the older I got. Right, so then I tried to move to college for a while, and then I lived alone in a dormitory, like my own room. Uh, well, not really alone because there were other people there in the dormitory, but I had my own room. But like, I had a hard time managing because doing the dishes and cooking food and just like walking to school and stuff like that, it just hurt so much. Like my legs were in so much excruciatingly uh, intense pain that just walking anywhere became really difficult. It was very challenging. Well, actually, walking to the place initially was fine, but I get very pain sometimes when I did that, so I started limping. But that happened before that even, right? Uh, but yeah, that was very difficult. Like my legs were very hard to stand. So to cook, I tried cooking. I did it, but it was very hard to stand up doing it. And usually, I would just feel very tired. And it just not really just tired, but just my legs just hurt like hell, way more than for other people. It's very hard to cook, very hard to like walk anywhere. Even if it didn't hurt when I did it, it did afterwards. So therefore, it was very difficult to stand up when I was at home. Um, but yeah, then I was like make going on like a trip. I went to like parts of Europe, and it was very fun. I met a lot of friends. I went to Denmark. I went to Czechia, Germany, Switzerland. You have it. And all these time, also I went to the Netherlands, but not that time, but before, right? Or after, and also after. Yeah. Um, so basically, like, what's been going on with me? It's yeah, it just people noticed that I was have a hard time standing and need to sit all the time because I was so much pain. And I did went to a festival in Switzerland, which was really awesome. I won't be talking about that because it's a long experience, but like, uh, it's relevant to this because many times my legs were hurt so much I literally fell. I was like falling down, right? Before that, right? Like a few months before that, the same year, I've been actually seeing a friend. And before I actually got to know her, right? She was basically like, noticed that I had problems with this. And then she basically asked me like a few questions, right? Basically, like how my skin is and like how my fingers are. Show me if I can do this. Like I can do this on both sides, but it's not very comfortable, so I only do it on once. And she asked if I was very flexible, which I am actually very flexible. So yeah, and it's also my skin. Like my skin is like a very like skinny, and it's also very velvety. I really can't see, but it is very velvety here. You can't see that, but like you basically see the pores very much, very porous. Doesn't know how to explain it. It's also like very smooth, right? And she basically like, that was before I went to this festival, by the way. She said that it was very likely that I had Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. So later, when I go back, having went to the festival and all that, I was back with my parents. I moved back with my parents. By the way, I forgot to mention that. So yeah, we then went to like see a doctor because I wanted to see if my friend was correct. And after going back and forth with the doctor, it was like so long-winded, like back and forth, back and forth. The doctor, we can want to find out if I had Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. And the doctor, he said he was going to like, tried me, right? But it took a while because he actually had to go and research the topic because he didn't know much about it, which I've heard is common. And I also did some blood tests to rule out other things. But at the end of the day, it actually like he managed to diagnose me with hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which was not a surprise. So it was very fine and very nice to actually have an answer that why walking is hurtful and why it's hard to eat, because that's symptoms. It just means that your collagen is defective, so it doesn't properly connect your tissues, because it's a connective tissue disorder, right? And that is why my body is insanely flexible. Well, not insanely, but very flexible. Even though I don't need to like do much about it. Like, one can even look on my what I can do with these legs, right? I can even like put my legs up like this without a problem. I have other things that's probably going to, if I feel like it, post on the internet somehow. Not sure if I will do that because it might not be very interesting. But yeah, and it does feel very nice to have a proper diagnosis, which I got over a year ago. Now it's just been taking a while for me to get to this. And I felt it was time to make this video. Because many people have been in the same situation. I've seen other people being in this situation. And so I'm not alone in thinking that being diagnosed with an incurable genetic disorder is that bad, because many people just feel relief, which I do, and many other people do are in this position. But like, so it's no cure, and it's actually just gonna get worse, which is kind of like a bummer. But I do currently walk full time. I do have crutches too. And thus far it's enough. It probably won't be enough forever, which is unfortunate. But it's your life, and I accept it. Like, I don't feel bad. Well, I don't feel too sad about it, honestly. It's just a disability, and you can totally live with it. I don't even have the worst case, so that's pretty relieving. Like many other, I have like conditions like posterior orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, which I don't have. Or even if I would have, just hypothetically, it probably wouldn't be that severe case. I don't think I have that. But I probably have gastroparesis too. I'm not sure if I have MCAS, not mast cell activation syndrome, which I could have as well. I'm not sure. It's just a whole bunch of mess. And basically nobody knows about this condition because it's so rare. It affects 1 in 5,000 diagnoses, but it could be twice as common. But 90% are female, which means the male population is 10% of the diagnosed population. And which means it's 1 in 50,000 guys have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. And one of those guys just happened to be me, which is like, wow, that's incredible. Like, yeah, that's quite wild. I can show. I do have 2 crutches here. But it's actually good because you can swing them up, so you can actually be more flexible. Yeah, these are much more comfortable too. So I did get the greatest crutches I have. I don't usually use them. I can walk properly, right? And I can eat. It's very difficult, but I can still do it. And I keep doing it for the best of my abilities. But I do get a lot of nausea, and I feel full too quickly. And I don't have much appetite. It's very frustrating. There's a lot of other things frustrating with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which is usually called EDS, for short, of course, like an acronym. But like some people that have Ehlers-Danlos don't have as easy time. Like some people actually need to get like a feeding tube because their digestive system is so bad that just eating food is not, they can't do it and get proper nutrition. And some people with Ehlers-Danlos cannot use crutches enough. They have to use a wheelchair because they can't walk. And now I find it to be quite hard to use crutches. Not easy, but my wrists are not very good. But my arms are just as affected as my legs. The reason why my legs have less problem is because you don't use your leg for walking. When you use crutches, you use your leg for walking. So that's can be quite exhausting. Like you put pressure on your arms and your legs. It's good to like even it out, but it's still pressure nonetheless. So I don't know for how long I can do with this, if this is gonna be enough assistance. I do have, well, they're not really here now, but I do have wrist brace here that you have for because your joint instability and your joint pain. So therefore, putting it on actually can relieve a lot of that pain. Unfortunately, this one I haven't used that much. It's not very comfortable yet. They do become more comfortable if you use them on a very regular basis and you take them with you. This is just my spare one because this is not my main one. They're somewhere else. They're not here, and I don't want to like interrupt this video just to go and get them. But yeah, this is just like my life. It's not that big deal part of your life, but it is a very ever-present part of your life. It's like any disability, like so it is Ehlers-Danlos awareness month. So I decided that it was time for me to finally make this recording and put it on the internet. And fun fact, I actually was wearing this shirt. And the reason why it's a zebra, that is because doctors are called, when you hear hoofbeats, think of horses, not zebras. But because it sounds like it. But if you don't listen to the voice, and if you don't look, you can't see if it's a zebra. Even though it's more likely to be a horse, sometimes it is a zebra, because a zebra is not a unicorn. And also because, a saying I've heard, is that symptoms are very varied. It's a spectrum. So not all are going to have the same symptoms, right? Some are going to have much more severe symptoms in one aspect and almost none in other aspects. So it's not one size fits all, and that's the same is that not every zebra have the same stripes. Which kind of makes sense, I kind of like that, so I actually just put it in here for good measure. And it is probably going to get worse for me. It's like my problem's probably going to get worse, but I do physiotherapy to prevent that from getting worse as quickly as it otherwise would. Because I don't think it's going to reverse many of the problems I have. But yeah, I just wanted to spread this awareness so that more people can be aware of Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. Because it's actually quite debilitating. Like, some cases, and some days, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome can actually be more debilitating than something like cerebral palsy or paralysis. Like, I'm actually not kidding, it actually can be. Like, you can be really disabled with this condition. It's actually very serious. And it's like so many types. I'm very happy you only have hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos, because other types like vascular Ehlers-Danlos are like way more severe cases than hypermobile. Hypermobilities hurt more, but the other ones are like a little bit more dangerous. Like, I have massive pains sometimes, because sometimes when I get like massive rib pains, like, and it's just exhausting. Like, I was resting on my leg. No, I was resting in my bed, and I was sleeping, and I turned around, and I hurt my ribs and woke up. Yeah, that's stuff like happen. But yeah, it still is what it is, bro. And it's not something that is going to make me feel I don't hate my life because of it. It's not the worst thing to happen. But I also don't want to minimize it, because it's actually quite serious. And I also do have autism, because apparently like, it's 10 times as common, if not more, among the EDS population than in the general population, which is quite interesting. The same goes with ADHD, right? So yeah, this is the month of the zebra. I think it's called. God, I can't speak. I'm too thirsty. But yeah, just decided that I finally wanted to get this out of my system, and and if you think that any of these symptoms fits you, you can actually look up more symptoms and see, because if you might have this condition too, and it's not a very fun condition, but it's still very good to know if you have it, and it's very rare, so I don't think you have it, but if you have suspicions, then it's might be worth looking into. So this was the video I decided to make for myself. I wanted to make this for over a year now, even before I was diagnosed, but I got busy, and so I decided that this is Ehlers-Danlos Awareness Month, so I decided that this is the day to put it up. So bye for now, and have a nice day.